It's a merry Franken Christmas. Ho, 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 ho. You're all gonna die in Santastein, a Screenbox exclusive from Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting, written and directed by Manuel Camelain or Chameleon and Benjamin Edelman. Check out the respective IMDb pages for the full listings of their work. This centers around two characters, Max, played by Jarrett Karotkin, and Paige, played by Ophelia. You're breaking my heart. Her last name is Rivera, who, when they were children, specifically 12 years before the events of this movie, they had set up a little bit of a trap to prove that Santa is real. And Max felt that if he could just do this, he could prove, I told you it wasn't our parents. See, it's real. He's real. And Santa actually does come down the chimney. It's very gross. They need a lot of sponges and a lot of pressure washing, because when a large old man comes down your chimney, it can get really messy, especially at his age. Nevertheless, enough grossness. Let's talk about a movie called Santastein, which, based solely on the premise, sounds kind of gross. Let's talk a little bit more about it. Santa talks to him. Everything's good. But then he falls into a trap. Trips on the strings, not puppets on a string. No Gail Kim theme here. More in the pity. And he gets blinded by the lights of the camera flashes and then falls on a fire poker, and the Christmas delight has died. Yes, Max killed Santa inadvertently, and it has haunted him for 12 years. This particular Florida hamlet, the joy, 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 joy in their hearts left long ago before today. Nobody feels that Christmas is the happiest season of all. There are no holiday greetings, gay happy meetings, or love for all. But there are people still trying to pick up the pieces, and Paige and Max now are just doing scientific experiments. And they do one on a rat. They revise it. And oh my God, if it works with an animal, it'll work on humans. Those type of things and that type of mindset always work out well in horror movies. And Max steals a corpse and tries to basically rectify it by making him Santa, reviving Santa, with disastrous results. Because whenever you revive a corpse, even if you think you're doing good, yeah, it's not going to go all that well. And Santa goes on a murderous rampage. A Santa Frankenstein human centipede together monster. Yeah, that's about it right there. I mean, it's a comedy horror. It's from Screenbox, so you know what you're getting. And as far as independent horror movies go, this was certainly one of them. There was a bit of ingenuity as far as this. It was mostly basic. There were a few halfway decent moments. There were also moments that made me think, seriously, you couldn't have done one more take of that to make it better. I will say that I did also throw a few bones on Amazon to rent this. I don't have a Screenbox subscription. I'm already subscribed to enough streaming services as it is, but I did end up doing that, because that should happen with any movie. You should throw a few bones towards a film. Even if you end up hating it, you're doing whatever small part to help independent filmmakers grow and achieve their dreams, and also you help the actors. However you do it, just don't illegally stream stuff. I don't encourage people to do that. And in this day and age, when people are fighting to get any idea made, and you can tell they at least have some passion about it, that should be something that we as movie fans try to support. Now, that being said, this movie's pretty goddamn abysmal. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. This movie was pretty fucking rotten outside of a couple things. There were a couple okay kills, but this was clearly like a 30 to 40 minute concept that they stretched out to about 85 minutes. And everybody seemed like they were having fun with it, and I'm not saying don't watch it, but I will say that as far as Christmas horror movies go, this looked like it could have just been back in the 90s. In fact, there were a few moments where I'm like, okay, this seems like it's taking place somewhere in the past, which is not the worst thing in the world. You can streamline that stuff and make it where people actually have to go out and do stuff instead of just using their cell phones to just immediately, find stuff, Googlefy it and all that and whatever. Again, not necessarily great, but something that I do encourage you guys to watch, because your mileage may vary, and I hope that the director, writers, and the cast can get more work. I just hope they can. I am going to be getting into spoilers here, but it's called Santastein, so I don't really think that we should have expected much from it. Nevertheless, it's on Amazon if you want to check it out. It is also on Screenbox if you have a Screenbox subscription. Maybe you'll get some ho-ho-ho holiday cheer. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so in the beginning, there was rap, as our Lord and Savior Dr. Dre once said. The funny part of him killing Santa was, like, just You know, him tripping around Santa, just tripping sleigh bells and falling on the fire poker. That was actually a halfway decent scene. That was all right. And yeah, robbing the corpse. You know, stealing the corpse from the morgue. There's this cop Edgar, and there's a guy named Stan, not from the Eminem video, and there's this funny line, Stan is a necro. I don't know why that made me laugh. Max steals the body. It's December 24th, and yeah, all the joy's done because Santa died. I do want to note one thing when it comes to issues I had with this movie in particular. Some of the audio sounded like it was recorded in an oil drum, and I recognize it's independent filmmaking, and I thought it was my device, but no, I checked it, or I thought maybe it was Roku. No, I checked on my phone, and I checked on that, and I thought it might have been my internet service. I even unplugged and plugged it back in to see if it was that. No, it's just the movie. Again, independent films is what it is. There was this old lady that told them a story a little bit later on. That was kind of funny. But there's this party going on. There's this one character, Michaela, played by Kaylee Hayner, who I think did the best she could with this. She certainly has the look for horror, and I mean that with respect. She tried. She had some fun with her character. Again, there isn't really much you can do with characters in a movie called Santastein. The cashier in this convenience store in Florida was British. I have nothing against a young lady. I mean, she did fine. But, yeah, there's this thing about this party, and Santastein's going to go towards this party. Michaela's kind of being used by alcohol and everything, even though she's underage, and everybody doing underage drinking. What the fuck? Max ends up reviving Santa roughly 30 minutes in of an 85-minute movie. And then, yeah, maybe trying to, reason with a reanimated corpse wasn't a great idea. He also hates loud noises. The experiment is unstable because their rat that they tried to revive early on went absolutely insane. Geez, an experiment of a revived corpse being unstable. Almost like somebody should have seen this coming. But, yeah, there were some halfway funny moments. But a lot of, generic acting, I will say, and a lot of generic characters. So, this cop runs into Santastein, brings him to the station. This station is basically just an office. And he ends up killing them. It's funny. There was one funny line, get me a picture with this fat fuck for MySpace, and apparently, according to a phone, a little bit later on, this was in 2008, the phone date and everything. I'm like, 2008, okay, 2008, and this concept fell 2000 and late. So, good old Black Eyed Peas reference. I did actually like the part where he pinned this one cop, and this cop said, you don't have the guts, and he rips his guts out. That was good. That was good. So, most of the comedy, though, doesn't hit. They bop in and out of the party. Michaela gets killed. That's unfortunate. Max doesn't want anybody to hurt his experiment, despite the fact it was revealed later on the Paige is the one that actually came up with this stuff and Max stole her work. But still, they're friends. Don't hurt him, Paige. He stole my experiment. No, talking to Grandma and everything. Grandma tells the story, and evidently this story is something that everybody has known. Yeah, if you kill and revive Santa, then he comes back What? So, there's a montage of them making concoctions, and also, like bad cookies and everything. And then there was this one character that had a running gag of all, 2 scenes where he would hollow out an apple and smoke drugs in it, because why not? Apologies. Allergies are a bitch. So, there's heavy snowfall in Florida. At least that's what it was supposed to look like. And, yeah, Michaela ends up getting killed, and then others get off. One girl gets her head taken off by Christmas lights. And Max ends up handcuffed in the back of Edgar's car, Edgar the cop, and he ends up taking the door off by somehow putting the thing in reverse. Apparently, they're very, very small cars. He puts the car in reverse and runs the door off, and then Yeah, they had this the decapitation scene was not good, but then again, it's low budget. So Paige blames Max for all of this, and that lasts all of 30 seconds before they decide to team up, and they are going to capture and kill Santastein. They eventually do, despite the fact that everybody are they're fucking idiots. They trap him in lights, and they're going to shock him to death. And then it's Christmas. And then... so he's all powerful now. So much so that when Edgar tries to axe him, he ends up getting shocked. After a really, really weird scene of him being choked and bloodied up for like seemingly minutes on end. Actually, I think it was only like 30 seconds, but it was a while. And you gotta feed him the cookie and kill him. Well, then they just end up, everybody ends up axed, it's not dead. Paige takes like, a pretty bad wound, but is somehow okay to run a little bit later. We go back to the compound or the shed or the bunker in the ground for all I goddamn know. And Santastein ends up getting exploded. And that's it. That's it for Santastein right there. It's not necessarily a plot-heavy movie. Then again, in Santastein, what can you expect? But it's also a movie that has a good idea and had a couple decent moments, but overall would have worked better as part of a VHS or something like that, like a VHS anthology. Yeah, it gets an F, I'm sorry. I'm not saying don't watch it. Just for me personally, it gets an F. I mean, if I wanted to number it, it would not be a 1 out of 10. It would definitely be 5 out of 10 at the best. I would say probably 4 out of 10, like I'm Bret Hart, rating Triple H's work. That being said, F, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.